வீடியோல வந்து we are going to look at the companies which actually are building EV infrastructure. EVங்கிறது வந்து electric vehicles. So electric vehicles வந்து it needs charging infrastructure. There are some companies which are actually taking part in that business. So let us see those sort of companies in this video. So recently there are companies which are actually investing aggressively in EV business. ஏன்னா everywhere there is pollution. Also government is giving subsidies to electric vehicles business. So they have a roadmap of manufacturing petrol and diesel vehicles and then move into electric vehicles. So it's the market share of EV is actually slowly picking up. Even though the fossil fuels they will be there for at least another 20 years or like 2 decades. Still, EV market share is slowly picking up. So one of the challenges is that there is less infrastructure for electric vehicles. We have a lot of petrol pumps, but we don't have that much electric vehicles charging points. There is also no regulation or licensing mechanism which is there for these sort of business. There are some companies which started investing. First in the list is Tata Power. This is predominantly a power generation company, also into power transmission and power distribution. Recently, they have started investing in the EV infrastructure. Tata Group has got Tata Motors, which is the driver for this. Tata Power mainly builds the EV infrastructure for charging Tata vehicles. Tata Motors is slowly building up its EV business. Right now, it has got a share of 70%. The four-wheeler EV business. Tata Power is really providing the infrastructure for charging the Tata electric vehicles predominantly, but also it can be used by other manufacturers. Like MG Motors is also actually making use of the EV infrastructure being built by Tata Power. It is a good company, and it is also into solar rooftop business, renewable power generation business. The next stock is the Indian Oil Corporation, the oil marketing company. It buys the crude oil and then it refines it, manufactures petrol or diesel out of it, and sells to petrol stations. So recently they have come up with some plans to build EV charging points. They have a lot of customer touch points in their business. They're going to leverage that and build charging points all over. It's giving a dividend of more than 10% and trading less than its book value, and its fee is also very less. The next company is Bharat Petroleum Chemicals Limited. So this again is the oil marketing company as Indian Oil Corporation Limited. And recently there are some plans to actually privatize this business. The government is planning to divest its share in that business to private corporations. So it is again a very good stock, but it's trading at a high value. Third stock is Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited. This again is oil market, and they are also planning to establish EV charging points all over the country. Wherever they have petrol stations, they are trying to plant EV charging points. Company in the list is the Visakha Industries. It's predominantly a building products manufacturing company. It's actually manufacturing panel roofs which are used to construct houses. Recently they have plans to actually enter the EV infrastructure business. They are trying to actually leverage their products which they have, something like the solar panels which are integrated, build sheds out of it. That will be used for charging purposes. Power that will be generated by the solar panels on top of the roof, that will be used for supplying power to the charging point or the shed. And vehicles can then go and plug into the charging points and then get their battery charged. It's a very good company, but the stock has raised a lot in the recent times. Good entry point for the stock would be 300. Also giving good dividends.